Yeah. Tomorrow show. 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 Oh yeah. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. You got that singer. You're gonna sing that live, right? You do that?
The Tomorrow Show.
Oh shit. That's probably good.
Woo. The Tomorrow Show.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Hello.
The Tomorrow Show. It's time. Welcome back. It's February 13th. Sunday.
2022.
It's a Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh.
It's a Valentine's Eve Sunday. Olympics. Askas. Askas. Yeah. Well, but it's time for the Tomorrow Show. We do this every other week on Sunday from 1 to 3 Central Standard Time here on Twitch. Hope for Us Network.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been really great. I hope your New Year's off to a pretty good start.
Our co-host AC is busy today, but
Michigan in his homeland, missing him, all that. But he's going to join us later on the program as well from the Beat Lab. Much like the Today Show, much like the Tonight Show, we are here for your entertainment, but most importantly, we're here to support the Hope for Us Network's mission, spreading proactive prevention for our mental health, to impact the largest network we can create. So tell people to come on in, share the Twitch channel, share the socials, and help us connect the dots of people that care, and we can take better care of each other.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple, right? Pretty to the point. We're going to be celebrating art, music, any self-expression, all those things that get us through to tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
I have a little cuddly Gandalf on my lap.
yeah, you might get
nice.
a little extra pet features today. We got Minnie, our dog, Minerva, Professor Minerva.
She's
Professor Minerva
behind
McGonagall,
me.
Dunbar Van Opel.
Yeah.
Longest name ever. She's a wiener dog. And what's Candy? A cat.
Yeah. He's
A gray
definitely
cat.
not a domestic short hair though.
Oh,
Which is like when you go to the vet.
tell me more about
this.
this.
Well, when you go to the vet, they say like, "What kind of cat do you have?" And you write like, "Oh, I have a Himalayan," or you write DSH for domestic short hair.
DSH. Can you think of some other things that might stand for?
No.
Don't stop healing.
Oh. Okay.
You thought I was gonna be gross about it?
I don't know what it was going to be.
All right. Well, let me make sure we can see our comments.
So-
oh yes. How are you? How are all of you? Oh man, look who's in there.
Yeah.
Look who came on in. It's Gab. Gabby B's got a new art shop on Etsy too, and the illustrations are fire. They're really clean lines, really vibrant colors.
It's really fun.
Painting up notebooks so then you can make art in the art. I think that's cool. Don't you think that's cool, making art in the art? So, I want you to definitely go check out that. Don't stop healing, woo woo.
Yeah. So we have.
DSH.
So Gandhi is a gray cat, and if you look up gray cats, I think he might be a chartreuse, but he has this weird half long hair. Oh, goodbye.
See you, buddy.
he
He's
has
I'm done.
Yeah, he's like, you're talking about me. He has like not short hair though, right?
He has this weird waterproof. He's this part seal.
Yeah.
I'm convinced he's part seal.
He loves the water, and the water just like runs off his fur, and it's kind of medium length, and I don't know.
Perfect description. Perfect description.
So I don't know what he is, but
he's a good boy
silly.
most of the time. He's silly. He's a good boy. You know.
Yeah.
So there is so much going on. There is the Olympics, the Oscars, the big football game, all happening simultaneously.
Well, the Oscars aren't happening, but the nominees came out.
I know the Oscars aren't happening, but
Okay.
you know, it's like this Oscar buzz in the air. You know what I meant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oscar buzz in the air.
So, like, let's think about what's been getting you through the last couple of weeks. What's been getting all of you out there through the last couple of weeks? Maybe it's been Gabby's art. So go take a peek. Maybe you needed Gabby's art to get you through the week just now. So thanks for dropping that link, network. You are all knowing. You're all wise. You are helpful. Thank you, network. What's Department of Super Hot Sauce, man? Can you can you expand on that? Maybe that's been getting Ben through the week.
The Department of Super Hot
Sauce. Sounds cool.
Is it like
spicy.
magical hot sauce?
Yeah, super duper, I guess.
Or maybe it's like
maybe
a
he'll tell us.
game that we're going to be playing later.
Oh, he's talking about DHS, of course.
Oh, Department of Super Hot Sauce.
Don't stop feeling. Department of Hot Sauce.
Super Hot Sauce.
Yeah. So that's cool. I like that. Snooze Fest. That happened. A little bit of a little Hope Lounge hangout on Thursday, a little pre-party, and that's happening this coming Saturday. So maybe that's something getting people out in the network through is looking forward to a show, maybe even specifically the Snooze Fest show at the Beat Kitchen, Ben's Kitchen.
No, that's the Super Hot Sauce department.
Well, he just admitted he reversed the letters on accident, because it wouldn't be the Department of Hot. It would be Department of Hot Sauce, just maybe not the Super Hot Sauce. He wanted it to be the Super Hot Sauce.
No, that's it. No, it is. It is. Never mind. We just
just
keep moving on.
We'll Hello. Oh man, thanks for sounding off, Buka. Work helps me. Not a great answer, but I'm lucky to enjoy my job. How I get to see this Gabby art. Scroll up in that chat. There's a link that we got dropped to Gabby's art. It's on Etsy. I would say that you're going to get a bang for your buck too. So it's been cool seeing sold posts go up. Really proud of you, Gabby. Proud of Gabby?
Yeah.
I'm proud of Gabby. That's been getting me through the week.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What else? Oh, there it is. It came back up. You don't even have to scroll up, Buka. Scroll back. Go back. What got you through the week? Were you pumped about the announcements?
The Oscar announcement.
Were you like checking the calendar?
I was pretty excited. Well, my friend is like more excited usually, so he kind of reminded me that they had come out in the early morning. I was at work, so he was like, the Oscar nominees are out. So because they do them at like 6 a.m. or something. So
6 a.m. They get up early and announce that shit.
Yeah.
Why is
Maybe
it
earlier.
Why is it important to announce it that early?
I have no idea.
That's kind of odd. That's odd.
For Hollywood.
The Hollywood Foreign Press, is that it?
Yeah. But usually they have a famous person announcing them.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter. That's not the important part.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
The name Oscar. Do you know where it comes from?
No.
Hey, network.
Does
if you don't mind
Yeah.
thinking about that, where the word Oscar comes from, because I just popped in my head, as things do, and I have a blurting problem, so I blurted it. Where does this word Oscar come from? Thank God network knows how to Google. Network knows all.
Like it's a guy.
It must be a guy. Must be a guy that was maybe he was somebody that wanted to have gold-plated skin, and it was a horrible accident, and this is a memorial. how did the prize statue get its name? Well, Hollywood Magazine or whatever this is might know. Might know. I don't know. What do you think? Should we just make conjecture? Maybe. Hey, Scott. Do you have any feedback for us?
Possibly after somebody's name.
Because I don't know that I can read that tiny script. I have old eyes. That's me. Old
named after
eyes.
somebody's uncle, possibly.
Somebody's uncle, possibly. So there's some conjecture.
So
happening.
they're not sure.
They're not sure. Okay. Well, sorry for the tangent.
Like we could dive into this later more.
Honestly, we'll look into that. We'll look into it. If anybody else out there sleuths it out, that'd be cool. We'd love to learn together. Can I ask you one other thing? Are the Oscars important to you because of the fact that you, if people don't know this, went to film school? Are Oscars important to you because of it being part of something you did with your mom? Is it a combination of those things? Is it
these leading questions?
Yeah, what is it? Well,
Yeah,
I know
so
more about you than the
right.
audience.
So I always watched the Oscars with my parents. Like I remember watching them starting when I was like probably 8 or something. Like really like pretty young, like younger than most people watch the Oscars.
Sure.
I would like stay up and watch them. And my parents are just film buffs. So like they would always tell me,
parents?
Yeah, they're amazing because they'll watch old movies and there'll be some character actor and they'll be like, that's so-and-so and he was also in blah, blah, blah. And it's just like amazing that about all the names they know and the names that they remember and stuff. So they're really the ones that like got me loving movies.
Yeah.
And that's definitely why my brother loves movies too. And yeah, they just like know a lot about that stuff. And so we would always watch. And so I just like, now I'm like, I've never missed an Oscars. Like I used to always ask for that day off of work if I had to work.
Yeah.
Like I can't miss them because it's like, now it's like I have to see how long I can go without missing them.
Can't miss them.
Yeah.
And
it's just fun. I don't know. It's just like fun and it makes me remember how much I do love film now, when I watch them.
Can you tell people, I was trying to make it so we could see that last comment, but I don't know if Ben's being serious or if he's joking. But
Hand of Midas.
Hand of Midas. And then also Oscar the Grouch is probably who it's named after from Luca. I'm quite sure that that's probably true.
Can you imagine if there's an
Brian,
Oscar the Grouch statue?
Oscar the Grouch where he's all gold?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
in
probably
his trash can?
Probably gotta get made.
Yeah.
We should make our own Oscars, our own film awards where that's the statue is Oscar the Grouch, gold styly, Hand of Midas.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. So those came out early morning a few days ago this week, and it was cool. It was like a fun thing.
Can I ask another thing?
Yeah.
Since Ben, who actually knows you pretty well, didn't know about this great love of film and passion of film that you have, can you maybe tell our audience, since they're not married to you and they don't get to hang out with you and talk to you all the time, like I am, can you tell them what's your story, film head?
So I feel like I've talked about this on the show.
Maybe not. Did you work at the cinema?
Yeah.
Did you work at the movie theaters? The Cineplex
I worked
Odeon?
at the movie theaters at AMC.
What was the name of the movie theater?
No.
Did it have a name? Like,
what was it?
I don't know.
I forget which theater it was. I don't know if it was I can't remember if it was a Regal.
It didn't have some flowery name like Cineplex Odeon.
No.
That's where I would.
No, because I didn't grow up near Chicago. So like, no.
I was in the suburbs. There was a Cineplex Odeon.
It was the only kind of arty film place. It was the only in Reno, Nevada, for a long time. It was the only theater that wouldn't get just big blockbusters. So sometimes my mom and I would be like, we want to go see this French film. Like that's where we saw Amelie, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
so
damn,
we,
you saw Amelie in the theater?
Yeah, we had to like drive up there.
If you haven't checked out Amelie, it's French film.
So
Great.
Yeah, so like they didn't have, that bit, those like theaters that, like I feel like in Chicago, it's like you get all the movies here when they first come out because there's a theater for like all of them,
Yeah.
But where I grew up, it was like you either go see, I don't know, the Scooby-Doo movie, or you like, you just had blockbusters.
Scooby-Doo.
So we had to drive up to Reno like 45 minutes to see like anything that was like independent or foreign or international is what they call them now. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, when I lived in Reno for a little while, I worked in a movie theater. But I always, since I was a little kid, I always wanted to make movies. And my mom did a couple of movies with her friend who was in extras casting. So she did a couple of movies with her, and she was gone when I was in like third grade making movies. So that was neat. But I was like, I want to be a cinematographer when I was like 10. And I think at the time, that was like 1996. If I was 10, there weren't many female cinematographers. But yeah, so I always knew I wanted to like go to film school and like do that. And then ironically enough, I decided when I was in film school that I didn't, that after getting to know myself, that I didn't want to work crazy hours, and I didn't want to move to only certain places in the world. I didn't want to be up all night, and I also didn't want to go compete. I'm not a competitive person at all. So like I'm kind of the opposite. Like if any competition comes up, I just kind of run from it. So I realized that it's a very competitive thing. And I didn't want to like go to LA or New York and like pound the pavement trying to get jobs. And I didn't like that kind of like idea of like competing over that. So, then I did not follow my dream, of an 8-year-old and go make movies. But I love it. I love movies. I love watching movies. I love shooting little videos. I like thinking about that stuff a lot. Yeah.
I think
I miss it. I miss like that and theater. I did theater in high school. I miss like collaborating with a bunch of people to make one thing. But yeah.
Yeah, there's always tomorrow.
Yeah. It's like, who knows? So.
Somebody asked if we've ever been to the Music Box.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah, it's a beautiful old classic theater. You get that popcorn. You get that soda pop. You get in that comfy chair. You just wait for the curtain to be drawn.
I love the stuff they do at the Music Box, where my new dream is to like open up like a theater like that. But I love at the Music Box how they like they do like the fun stuff. Oh! They do the fun stuff where you like interact with the movie. So I
sing along Sound of Music.
You
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, Rocky Horror
Labyrinth.
I went to the Labyrinth one.
Yeah, man, that's a good time.
And they give you like a little bag, a little bag of goodies.
So you get a sack lunch from your mom
so
in elementary school, and you open it up, and there's Edelweiss for some sing-along Sound of Music.
Yeah, sometimes they'll have. I don't know if you've ever been to one of these, but sometimes they'll have someone playing piano or something to a movie.
Yeah,
they've done that there.
That's cool. Just focusing on the score and stuff like that. I know when we saw that Tarantino flick on whatever, like 35 millimeter,
70
millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't know.
Because it was so cool because it was actually wide,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, then they did the intermission, like full on classical interlude, where it's like just like a blank screen with like some weird silhouette, and then there's just like set intermission.
Well, and then
an overture.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, then I would take, sometimes we would take like kids there on field trips. I don't even know for what. I can't remember. But it was cool because sometimes that was like the only old theater that they'd been in.
They probably gave them some perspective.
Yeah, it was like they were
and
like
projectors that like these machines that are fucking
they
amazing.
like get, you know, then they kind of get it. They're like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah, like projecting equipment. If you think about like when it happened, it had to have been like the most magical shit. You're like, what the fuck? Those pictures are moving.
No, there were literally people in the theaters who would scream because they thought like it'd just be like a 2-minute train coming at them, and they would scream because they thought it was going to hit them. Well, because their brains had never seen anything like that.
And now it's like watching a Zelda like segment of like a little video that comes in the middle of gameplay is almost like cinematic. Yeah, that's just crazy. But you know, with all the crazy current events, speaking of which, and stuff that can be bound to get you down and feeling negative, some of the ways we're coping with this insane world is movies and really great shows. But do you want to talk about the Oscar? Oscar nominees that got announced.
So when the first thing I'll mention is like the Best Picture nominees.
There you go.
Yeah. So
thanks, my man.
I like the New York Times one because it links you to the movie, which is like really nice. Whereas like other articles don't do that. But it's interesting because a few years ago, I don't know how many, they started doing 10 nominees again.
Okay.
For a long time, the Best Picture was just 5 nominees. But in like,
I don't know any of these movies. Well, I know a couple. Is that bad?
It's not bad.
Am I dumbs?
No, it's just like, I haven't seen very many of these movies either. And I think that the pandemic has like totally done that to us too. We're like, we don't go to the movies as often. So like, we don't even hear about movies as often. Because they're being put up online and they don't even go into theaters. Or if they go into theaters, it's for like a week, you know? Or like Dune. Yeah. It was on HBO.
We missed it.
And then it was just in theaters. So all
right, so I want you to get up in it.
But so like then
get up in it. And I want you to do your rundown of the nominees.
Why do I have to get up in it?
Can I get you coffee?
Why do I have to get up in it?
Can I get you some coffee? Because I want it to be like a feature.
Okay. So Power of the Dog is by one of my favorite filmmakers ever, Jane Campion, who's a female writer-director. And and she's from Australia. And for a long time, she was like the only one. One of the only ones who like really got any sort of any recognition. Yeah. So she's made some of my favorite movies. They're just beautiful. And so that's on Netflix. Belfast is with one of your favorites.
Who's one of my faves?
An actress that you really like.
Oh, you talking about one of my
who's crushes? From Outlander, who plays.
You talking about Claire?
Yeah.
Jamie.
Yeah, so she plays Claire on Outlander.
Do you guys know Outlander? I love that shit.
And then West Side Story, the new West Side Story, which is my favorite musical ever.
West Side. That's not.
And Mike hasn't seen it, which is atrocious.
I've seen parts of it.
That doesn't count. You have to watch the whole thing and get like into it. Ugh.
And and you know that Santana song, Maria, Maria.
That's not.
You remind me of a West Side Story.
Oh.
No, you gotta stay.
Oh my God! I'm not staying over there.
You gotta stay up in it.
No. Yeah. So Yeah, the new West Side Story. That's
Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg. That one surprised me.
Yes.
Yeah. And then King Richard.
I'm sorry about West Side Story, by the way. And I am also want to just say some people were really relating to what you were saying about filmmaking competition.
Yeah.
Not to knock you off track.
Yeah.
Just I want them to know that. Yeah, I see you.
Yeah. It was kind of heartbreaking, but.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Power of the Dog. Is that what we were talking about?
Yeah. King Richard is with Will Smith, and he plays Venus and Serena's dad. And it's a true story about how he like kind of pushed them to being tennis players. But I think like
that's awesome.
Yeah, it seems like that's good. Don't Look Up. That's the only one we've seen.
Yeah, and I know people had a lot of different opinions and like preaching to the choir and stuff like that. But hey, I found it entertaining. I thought there was some things that made it force people to either talk about something that maybe they wouldn't otherwise talk about.
Yeah.
That's always good.
Yeah. And then Coda is actually about, I guess, like a kid who has deaf parents. So, she's the only
children
kid.
Of deaf adults.
Yeah, she's the only kid in her family who is hearing.
What do you call that? An abbreviation?
Children of deaf adults, yeah.
It's not called an abbreviation, but some acronym.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's Coda, which that seems really good.
That kind of thing is important to show.
That is also a female director. Also a female director, which is really cool. And then there's a Japanese nominee, Drive My Car, which I've heard is really good.
With Coda, wouldn't you agree that it's important the portrayals of deaf people are also like kind of considered something that need to be increased?
Yeah, it's interesting that in the last couple of years that's happened. There's been 2 of those movies.
Yeah,
that's great.
What was the Sound of Metal?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Which is about losing his hearing. But,
sure.
But still.
But there was some pretty cool portrayals of deaf people.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then Drive My Car is a Japanese film. And Nightmare Alley is a remake. And that's Guillermo del Toro.
He's cool. Pan's Labyrinth.
And that,
right?
I really want to watch that with you. So yeah, and then Dune and Licorice Pizza, which is controversial, but I won't go into that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of sad and triggering and controversial, and I won't get into that one. But if you have another opinion, I'd like to hear it.
Ben must have got on the commercial.
And Belfast. One last thing. Belfast is by Kenneth Branagh. Directed by Kenneth Branagh, who is he was a Shakespearean actor. He's a British guy. And he has directed some of the best Shakespeare films. And he's just absolutely lovely. And so he did Belfast. And then he also did the new, The Tragedy of Macbeth with Denzel Washington.
Oh, damn.
Which he is nominated for. So, which is all in black and white, and it looks totally amazing and different. So Kenneth Branagh is kind of racking it up, but like, in a very quiet way.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of the other thing I've heard really good things about is this Danish film Flea. I was reading about it last night. It's nominated for documentary feature,
Flea,
international feature, but then also it's also animated.
So it's like multiple nominations.
So it's a documentary that's animated and also, yeah.
Sounds
so
rad.
Like that seems like really interesting.
And
that's about I think it's a gay man who is a refugee. So anyway, Oscars.
Total blind guesses.
Oscars not so white. They're trying. They're trying.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
What's your guess? To a blind guess, even though you haven't seen all these flicks. What do you think is going to win Best Picture? Aaron Dunbar's guess. Best Picture.
I think Power of the Dog.
Okay.
That's what got the most
Congratulations.
nominations.
Congratulations, Power of the Dog. You won a fake award from us.
Yeah, that's what.
Do you want to do any other predictions?
I don't know.
Do you want to do any other predictions?
Yeah, that's. I think that's mine.
Do you want to do like a best lead actor?
Maybe later. Maybe next show.
Okay.
We have to watch some of them.
Because the Oscars is when?
Last weekend of March.
Oh damn! So they came out.
It's a long time.
Okay.
They always come out at least a month ahead.
Any predictions on who's going to win the big football game, the Super Bowl?
Not at all. I don't know anything.
Playing?
I don't know anything about that. The Bengals and the Rams. Is that right?
Hey, yeah.
Is that right?
I believe that's correct.
I only know that because my mom told me.
The Bengals and the Rams. You're a good listener.
Yeah.
You know what they don't got in the Super Bowl?
Skiing.
Venus and Serena.
Oh. They don't have Venus and Serena.
Right. You know what they don't have at the Olympics?
Venus and Serena. Actually, that's not true.
Currently, the Winter Olympics they don't. Right?
No, summer they did though.
But they don't have the halftime show with Dr. Dre and Eminem and Snoop Dogg and fucking Mary J. Blige and Anderson .Paak, like or something. I don't know. There's like a ridiculous halftime show.
Okay.
So I know some friends that have been looking forward to that to get them through. I know you're not a sports person, but you know
I am a sports person. I'm not a football person.
Okay, sorry, you are a sports person.
How much Oscars have I been? Oscars? How much Olympics have I been watching?
You've been watching a lot of Olympics. So, the Olympics, we've got like what? USA's got like 5 gold meds.
I don't like the lunking of sports, if you will. I don't like the like thing.
Nice Planet Fitness reference.
Yeah,
I like that.
Lunking.
Anybody know about lunkers out there? It's pretty hilarious. So
the
Olympic
medal
Games,
counts.
We got the medal counts. To all those, anybody that ever competed in an Olympics ever, you're all amazing athletes. I can't believe the feats of strength and all that.
What?
So much emotion.
So you aren't into it as much as me.
I am not into it as much as you.
Would you say you like summer or winter better? Is it because it's winter?
No, I like the Winter Olympics a lot because some of the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life, like the skeleton where they go downhill head first in these ice chutes at like 80, 100 miles an hour, however fast they're going. It's terrifying. The downhill skiing and stuff that we were watching, all the snowboarding was badass.
Yeah.
All the ski jumping is badass.
Yeah.
So like,
what have you like? What do you like?
Even figure skating's like just mind-boggling what people are able to do on ice, which I usually would fall upon. You know.
Yeah, I can't even stand. For
right on my fanny.
I
That's fanny bruises waiting to happen. Anyway.
So Norway is leading, and then Germany, and then us.
I watched the opening ceremonies with you. That was all right. That was all right.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird, but crazy technology on display with the LED like floor that like responds to people's feet and all these like interesting animations that would like almost come out of the screen and then become like a 3-dimensional thing. There was holograms.
Italy is.
There was drones. There was drones in the sky doing formations. And I think one little shred of niceness that you pointed out to me was that they didn't have to spend or waste millions of dollars to build a stadium. They're actually reusing the Beijing facility from a previous Olympic event.
So something that's really fun to look up is abandoned Olympic stadiums or abandoned Olympic
facilities.
Yeah. Because it's like super weird. But yeah, the Beijing Summer Olympics weren't really that long ago. So some of their stuff was definitely in disrepair, but they were able to reuse the nest, the bird's nest, which was this crazy stadium they built. So they used that, and then they, were able to rebuild the inside of some of them to use them for winter, which I appreciate because I think there's a lot of crappy stuff that some of these places that cities have done in order to build. And
Skramsky nails it.
Yeah.
Honestly, makes a lot of sense that they saves the energy and resources rather than making another stadium to abandon like Lost Olympics. Yeah. I bet those abandoned Olympic parks are pretty fucking cool paintball parks though now. Hey, hit me up, invest in paintball Olympics. Yeah. We'll do it together, folks.
Oh, the craziest one.
We'll make
I think
different
the
levels.
Weirdest ones to look at actually are the like bobsledding ones.
The luges?
Because it's just like these big cements.
Oh, Jesus.
Like old, empty. Yeah, it's so weird.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
But it'd be a sweet ass Tony Hawk level, am I right?
Hell yes.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Just jump and grind that shit. You know what? One time I was in Park City, Utah, and I went to the Olympic Park that was still there and still being used as a facility. It was like a summertime trip, though.
Yeah. That's like the one in Squaw Valley, California, was like reused. They just use it as
it was cool. They were training.
Place.
They were training there, but the bobsled part of it, like you said, was this weird abandoned faraway corner of it. And then the downhill slopes, since there was no snow, the Nitro Circus, which is this group of BMXer daredevils and stuff like that, had set up crazy ramps and shit. And we're going down these downhill ski jumps and going off these crazy ramps on BMX bikes and filming it. So I was like Ben, you're talking about having anxiety watching figure skating. Yeah. I was literally like about to shit my pants. I was so scared for these guys, but no one got seriously injured while I was there. But
I know they're pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well, whether it was Jackass Forever, whether it was the Oscar nominees or the Olympics, Super Bowl, whatever, it's been getting you through the last couple of weeks. We're glad you're here. We're glad you continue to find hope in little things. So, moving on with the show, I just wanted to mention that, we're going to be bringing back a Gamer's Paradise segment. We're going to unbox a new game for ourselves, taking on an adventure in another far-off gaming land. But it's not Hope Island on Animal Crossing like you've seen before. We're going to be doing Zelda Breath of the Wild on Nintendo Switch. So that's going to be super fun. And in the coming months of 2022, you can expect us to do some more like informal streaming and such. So that's going to be cool. I also wanted to just let you all know that Bad Candy has agreed to do a show, first show in a real long time at the Golden Dagger, which I'll talk a little bit more about that after the Theory and Beats segment. But the Golden Dagger's got a really fascinating history, fascinating story. It includes haunting. It includes the Irish mob. It includes brothels. And
some good Chicago stuff.
Yeah, and some magical orders, some ancient organizations, magical organizations. And I'm wearing my pants, my dagger pants. You are wearing your dagger pants. But what's really neat about this show coming up on Friday, the 18th, it will be just kind of a great way to warm up for Snooze Fest on Saturday. So Friday, you can support another great independent venue, Golden Dagger. You can support one of my bands, Bad Candy. Alex Subak's been one of our guests in the past, an amazing, powerful front woman. And we've got new music coming out. Very Nirvana meets Fiona Apple, darkness vibes.
Yeah.
And then the locals, AC plays drums in, and you might remember from last Tomorrow show.
Yeah.
A little appearing into Burlington bar, Chicago, to see the locals there. This will be their next show, so you can be there if you're in Chicago at the Golden Dagger to see them play again in person. Support another great independent venue. Beat Kitchen is Saturday. Golden Dagger is Friday. Tell you a little bit of history of Golden Dagger here in a little bit, but let's without further ado, show everybody a little taste of what happened last week on Theory and Beats. There's a little previously on Theory and Beats. And then it will continue on to show you how that beat concluded. And I'm just really excited to go to the Beat Lab right now. I don't know about you. Let's do it. Beat Lab Theory and Beats on the Tomorrow Show. Yeah.
Previously on Theory and Beats.
I'm thinking the kalimba can inspire a beat today.
Do you want the other?
Play the other thing, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. It's probably enough stuff. You're not alone. There's lots of us. Still some consider us crazy now. Got enough to work with there? I think you should take all the verses. You into that?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
And then just use this as a hook, like the inspired by another unusual instrument. There's lots of us.
And now for part 2.
You're not alone.
This anxiety's keeping me from my sleep. It blocks my dreams and all my good vibes. No matter what, I know that I will survive.
You're not alone. There's lots of us. Still some consider us crazy.
When I've got the music, I've got a place to go. My escape to my own place, to it go. My happy place, feeling nice and close my eyes. Screaming up at the sky to express how I love my life. To you, I don't need to explain myself. You don't like me, that's on you. Maybe you should get some help. I'll keep my head up to the sunlight. You can say what you want, 'cause I'm gonna shine bright.
You're not alone. There's lots of us. Still some consider us crazy. You're not alone.
Split it up right
There's a
there.
lot of us. Still some consider us crazy.
One thing I'd like to say before you even start. You don't know my mental state. You just see my heart on my arm. And I ride it like a badge of honor. Yeah, I keeps it real. I ain't in no bad mood. You don't even know the deal. You don't even know the half. Or sometimes I don't laugh. Set a bass. You just make a place to H on my ass. Give you the gas face, I don't wanna hear it. I won't let these clowns out here go and wreck my spirit, 'cause
You're not alone. You're not alone. Hell yeah. There's lots of us. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. There's lots of us. There's lots of us. Still some consider us crazy. So great. There's
that's a hit, dude.
some real power in those words, man. That's the track?
That's the track.
That's the track?
That's the track.
Can we try one thing?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
One thing?
What do you want to do?
No, I don't want to use it. I just wanted to hear what it sounded like before I decided that I didn't want it in there, you know, because I didn't hear what it sounded like. We just recorded it, and then I didn't hear it. So I'd say leave it out, honestly. Moonbase.
That's almost like the intro to a Bone Thugs and Harmony song.
It's pretty good. Toreg, Moonbase.
Oh, if I had another octave. Which one?
That's the one you're on.
The Tord octave?
Toreg. I don't know what Toreg means. All right, go to the end real fast on the full beat. I want to try something.
The end?
Yeah. All right, try playing it. An A, maybe? Yeah. Let's try some shit. I don't know. That's not bad. What do you think of that?
I think it's all right.
Is it too sloppy? Like these? Too much of a cluster? That's pretty cool.
Sheila E. Prince.
Just got those?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yesterday.
What else?
That's it for new records. I got a new record showing up today. Dre Chronic 2001.
Oh, yeah.
Which is funny.
You got the Blue Ammo on vinyl. Nice.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I am fucking.
That's awesome.
AC.
Yeah.
AC.
Yeah.
AC.
He's the man.
Yeah. I definitely think, Ben, if you're inspired by that video to grab a MIDI controller and have some fun, you should, man. You should. You most definitely should. I like that song a lot. I can't wait to actually just like listen to it at the end of the show today. Do a little dancing. AC does rock, and yeah, just I hope he gets to see that thank you at the end, because we appreciate you, AC. We love you, man. Your family. So
Who's playing some music?
Yeah.
Playing some music right now with another band.
Just talented as fuck. So I'll tell you the name of the band that he went into Michigan to rehearse with for their reunion show. Coke Dick Motorcycle Awesome. It's a great word salad that really gives you a good idea what this punk rock band kind of sounds like and what a
It was
show
the
of theirs
last
might
show
be
that
like.
we went to before COVID
Correct.
took over.
We were playing in Ann Arbor. Mason's Case had the esteemed honor of opening for Coke Dick being reunited after a very long time. So yeah, it's really cool. Let me see something real fast here. I got a private chat notification. Oh, Carl's in here. Nice. Carl, we're gonna bring you on here in a little bit. First of all, I just wanted to kind of impart to you guys that in 2020, March 6th, we went to this Coke Dick Motorcycle Awesome show. We opened the show. It was crazy. AC played bass with Dave Smith, Powerhouse, on drums for a good part of that show. But they had like guitarists and singers everywhere, like spilling off the stage onto the floor. And this club was packed.
Yeah, because they've had like all these iterations of the band and all these different people that have played with them. So they just had all of them playing at one point and trading off. And
it was
stuff.
So fun.
Yeah.
It was so fun. And after what happened, the following week with the world shutting down for COVID, we would joke because that's all you can do is laugh when life gets pretty upsetting. Is that Coke Dick broke the world? I mean, we got to hang out in Ann Arbor and have a blast, but that was like the last time we did something like that.
Yeah.
So they're doing a reunion show now next month, and that's so cool because I'm sure it will be a blast. And they're actually playing instead of at the Lo-Fi Bar, which is where that happened a couple of years back. They're playing at the Blind Pig, which is a really famous Ann Arbor, Michigan spot. Some pretty famous stories about Kurt Cobain in the early days of Nirvana playing there. Being in the green room at that club when Mason's Case got to play there years ago. There's like writing on the wall, and it's a cool fucking rock club. So I'm very excited for him. But that's bass AC. And then there's this rapping AC and production AC and turntables AC. But then there's drums AC.
Yeah.
Drum set AC is what you're going to experience if you come to the show on Friday at the Golden Dagger in the Locals. The Locals are a great band. The Locals, maybe even the network could pull it up, have this really great, pretty new music video. It's animated for one of their songs. Yvonne is a super talented artist, another powerful front woman, and like just Patti Smith vibes, right? Like,
yeah, definitely like her voice.
Yeah, just like really, really rocking Patti Smith vibes. And AC just is such a fun drummer to watch. Just super, super talented, super cool to watch with his chains and his hair going everywhere. And he's just so focused. Really fun show to see. They're a three-piece. Joe plays bass, and it's just like a lot of sound coming from three people. And then Bad Candy is a four-piece. Alex sings in Locomotive, my band. But this is like about taking her songs from her brilliant mind and realizing them and bringing them to their full potential through collaboration with Todd, who plays also in Locomotive. Him and Alex started Bad Candy. They had the initial kind of foundation of these songs. And then Matt Walters, Spade Kitty Records, shout out. Matt Walters, MT Walls, shout out. Plays bass and occasionally guitar in this group as well. We're recording in Electrical Audio, which is a really great studio that also kind of has a lot of Chicago history and mythos to it because Steve Albini started the studio. Greg Norman's been engineering those sessions, and we have 2 singles out. We've had them out since Valentine's Day of 2020.
Weird.
Yeah, which almost 2 years ago. So we're going to be celebrating 2 years of that. The album artwork that you see that floating around about Bad Candy, it's a picture, a very striking picture, iconic picture of Alex with a bloody mouth, looking really, really scary, but really powerful and really awesome. So I want to explain what that's all about a little bit. That is Alex's depiction of Valentine's Day, kind of a Valentine's Day massacre, if you will. And that was the theme that we approached our single release show 2 years ago with. So Alex thinks about love and thinks about depictions of Cupid, and how, while a lot of people think cutesy things about a chubby little cherub shooting an arrow and, oh, you got bit by the love bug. When we think about the fact that that image really represents the fact that there's some very violent undertones of that like love can be very dark and violent. And that's basically Alex's Cupid, and taking some power back in that, and being the person that I won't be taken advantage of. So there's the single Dare You and Watch Me Burn. The tone of those lyrics, the tone of that music is very much like, you hurt me, and now it's my turn to be powerful and to flip that script. Really cathartic music. Check us out, Bad Candy Music, on Instagram, or anywhere else, Bandcamp and things of that nature. But real quick before we bring Carl in, I want to just like give a little history about the Golden Dagger, because I think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Golden Dagger is a venue here in Chicago, in a building that's over a century old, about 128 years old to be exact. This Block Club Chicago that you see on the screen. This is an article that came out last year in the spring, as they started to open their doors again, because it was Tonic Room. Tonic Room was the name of the venue for a very long time, and
tons of people played there. It was very, very active.
Chance the Rapper,
bar,
Dean Ween. Let's see, it's escaping me some of the other ones, but Wolfpack.
Yeah.
Super lovely club, super supportive of the scene. And Donnie Biggins.
But like an older bar, set up, and it had kind of like a stage on the side that was a little awkward. You had to really think about how you're
look at that stage now.
Band up
look at that stage now.
Yeah.
Look at that wood structure that was built to kind of frame the stage. So basically,
it was like really skinny and narrow.
If you stay right there, Network, if you back up to that picture, if you see what we're looking at now, this is cool. The renovated new stage at Golden Dagger.
Yeah. And they can open those windows up. And
this is in the spring too. It's got a very New Orleans feel. You can walk up. You can get coffee any time of the day. They open at 7. They're a huge non-alcoholic beverage list, because they really want to support sober people and being able to go out, see shows, and still have good things to drink. But this is from the spring of 2021. Unfortunately, this building, for whatever reason, has some juju. There was a building fire, and this was all damaged after all the renovation. But then the Chicago community banded together, helped them raise funds to get it back to where it was. And now they've reopened again. So we're really honored to be a part of some of the first shows this season, as we get to spring and open those windows up,
Yeah.
But as she was saying, there was this weird way where you walked in, and this stage was just this L across.
Like you'd rock in, and to the right, it was like the stage.
It was like a little phone booth that you'd stand in to get carded and get stamped and all that. And there was 2 doors that basically opened into each other, and it was just like so dumb and terrible flow. Still, people went there. Still, people loved going there, even in spite of this. People loved performing there. Because it was like a comfortable place where they took care of their staff, they took care of their talent.
Kind of chill,
And it's chill. Yeah. And so basically they decided, why do we have this little phone booth here? Let's blow this out, make it a hallway so that it opens up into the middle of the stage, the floor, and the stage then can be a full-on stage. Look how beautiful that is.
I know.
I'm very excited about it. But what's some pretty cool, interesting stuff about this this particular building is that, dating back to the end of the 1800s, there was like magical secret societies and stuff like that. There was something called the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. They were a British society. They did weird ritualistic magic and stuff like that. So basically the golden dagger part, the golden dawn is like a little reference there, because in this story it accounts that there was a kind of a dagger found in the wall, and it's got like a skull-shaped grip, and they also have it on display now. It's also the dagger that you see emblazoned upon these pants that were bought as a Tonic Room COVID fundraiser before I even knew they were changing the name to Golden Dagger. How about that? Foreshadowing. But basically, it was a place where they had meetings and rituals. The America chapter of the Golden Dawn would meet in the basement of this building. And some woman said in 1930s that they witnessed a ritualistic blood sacrifice. And the building owners also said that there was Egyptian hieroglyphics on the wall, on the ceiling, and a pentagram on the floor. So there's all this magical haunting history that shows up on haunting lists of places in Chicago that you can go that are supposedly haunted.
Hermetic means it either means it's airtight,
like hermetically sealed.
Yes, yeah. Or relating to an ancient occult tradition encompassing alchemy, astrology, and theosophy.
Well, how about that?
And there's hermetic texts of Christianity.
That's crazy.
But the alchemy, astrology part stuck out to me when you were saying that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then the whole story that came after that was that the Irish mob ran it as a speakeasy during Prohibition. And then after Prohibition, and then there was a brothel operator out of the apartments above the building. And like you fast forward through all the years and shows of Tonic Room, all the people that came through and played, to now, they have a nice patio. It's like 30 people can fit out there. They have acoustic shows during the day. They have pastries. They have Skylight Coffee Roasters, which is a very small group of people that roast with like a roaster, an Italian roaster from the 20s. So it's like the Roaring 20s in like the best possible way. So we'd like you to all come to that show, experience this amazing, magical building, a couple of magical bands, and friends of the network family. So please be there. Please invite your friends. Please bring proof of vaccination so we can continue to keep the music community healthy and thriving. And that's about it about that. So should we thanks for dropping the link for tickets. That was really cool. And there's the Block Club article if you want to read that in full, about Donnie and Zoe over there steering the ship, because Donnie does a lot for the music community. Check out his band, The Shams. And there's also a Rap-brary, which is a rapper librarian named Roy. He curates books. So like if you're ever just going for coffee, there's a whole library curated by a rapper of books that you can kind of just check out or read while you're there.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
It's pretty cool. I really like it. We get coffee sometime. I brought home that growler that one time. Mm-hmm. Do you want to save the Gamers Paradise segment and get Carl on here?
Yeah.
Let's save the Gamers Paradise segment and bring our man Carl Evans on, because I think he's waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
Hey, dude.
Hey.
Hey. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's good to see everyone over there.
Yeah.
Been fun watching along, and there's some things I would have loved to talk about. That's been really great content today. The Oscars discussion and among other things, AC's segment.
You got any picks? You got any picks for the Oscars?
Yeah, and I think I'll talk about that a little bit. I wanted to just sort of real quickly, as a segment, sort of we'll get through what I was going to get through, and then we'll talk some.
All right, sounds good. Perfect.
Fun things, yeah, and I think this is kind of fun too. Good afternoon, everyone. For those who may not be familiar, my name is Carl Evans. I'm the CEO and founder of the Hope for Us Network. And one of the things that we were talking about in preparing for this tomorrow's show is that this effectively is the first episode inside of Black History Month, and there's always a discussion about acknowledging different sorts of official months and things that are happening when you're a weekly program and what's the level. And I thought it'd be interesting to talk about it in terms of just the ins and outs of Black History Month and why do we celebrate it? And I think we can all appreciate that, but why do we even have Black History Month is kind of a thing that I think is really interesting, because especially for folks who maybe don't grow up Black, African American, person of color, how do they approach acknowledging it in a credible and interesting way, especially nowadays when we are trying to evolve our conversations about being more respectful of the different intersections in society. And when it comes to the cultural factor, I think everyone is always looking for ways to be best foot forward, just to be more sensitive, to not just assume what we know yesterday still qualifies to know today. And that was a discussion we kind of impromptu had about what would we do for, if anything, for Black History Month on the Tomorrow Show. And that brought up a really interesting point that I wanted to talk about, which is, if you think about Black History Month, some baseline information is that its first iteration is really actually, it was kind of like a week created by someone named Carter G. Woodson, who is kind of considered like the Black historian or the father of Black history in a lot of ways. This was a wise gentleman and historian who founded a group called the Association of the Study of Negro Life and History. And he's out there operating in the 1920s, talking about exploring what we would nowadays or one day start to call the Black diaspora. And what he did is he basically decided to highlight that he wanted a national coming together moment to acknowledge the contributions of Black folks to the American narrative, okay? And that's important to highlight the fact that this is really, we'll talk about this a little bit more, but his mission was he wanted to make sure that the African American story in the building and success of America was acknowledged. And that's 1926 that he comes up with this idea and pushes it forward. And what he does is he doesn't do it arbitrarily. He looks at the month of February and he likes the idea of creating this week of acknowledgement between Abraham Lincoln's birthday and Abraham Lincoln's birthday, which is on the 12th, and Frederick Douglass's birthday, which was on the 14th. And so just for a root cause where the idea of Black History Month and all that is going to have its roots in February is specifically because of this individual, this academic scholar, brilliant person, Carter Woodson, picked those dates, specifically because of Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. And from that, that was a concept that through literary communications and cultural, better cultural organizations of the 1920s and 1930s in Black America, they would pass it over to make an initiative to want to be acknowledged by word of mouth. They would enter into academic spaces, so black colleges and high schools and education systems around the country, and through the religious sector, through churches and the interstate network of different congregations. So from about the 1920s all the way through the 60s, Black History Week was an informal thing that was embraced through academic channels and through the faith channels in the Black American diaspora. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the ground floor for it. In 1969, a Black student group at Kent State University is going to propose that there should be a whole month dedicated to acknowledging the Black experience in America and their rights in history. That group will again build around the idea of having it in February, specifically based on the root principles set up by Carter, Mr. Woodson's picking Lincoln and Frederick Douglass as benchmarks. So that was 1969. Kent State proposed that, student groups and faculty alike. And then in the following year, in 1970, on paper, you could have it that Kent State University acknowledged the first Black History Month.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And that took on its own life. So even if there was a disconnect, people didn't necessarily know about Mr. Woodson's Black History Week thing. What Kent State did had a renewed echo shot to mobilizing this idea. And cities, it would start with municipalities. Mayors, for instance, would create proclamations acknowledging it. Flash forward to 1976, Gerald Ford is on record as acknowledging the existence of Black History Month.
Gerald Ford.
Yes, and that's 1976 during the bicentennial year. And then after that, it's just it's a slow process in which states begin to formally enshrine.
Can I ask a question?
As a concept, yeah.
Do you think Gerald Ford at the time, bicentennial is right around the corner, he wants to do a big flourish or something? Do you think he's getting political pressure to acknowledge Black History Month? Or do you think that Gerald Ford was like a pretty stand-up dude and was like, this is bullshit. Let's try and do the right thing here or whatever?
Well, no. So you could feel that you could say Gerald Ford's a well-meaning person, but acknowledging Black History Month was political in that there's a lot of ways you can acknowledge the existence and impact of Black folks in America. It was presented to him that acknowledging this month would be a good way of doing it. And that's where I kind of want to talk about the idea of group acknowledgement month or week type of things. Okay. It's a complex, it's multifaceted. And when we talk about it in terms of our network and talk about the mental health reality, the intersection is in being able to have a comprehensive conversation about the different factors that develop our institutions, societies, and communities. And race is a principal factor of the American cloth. It's just how it's cut and shaped is based a lot on the illusion of racial concepts. So bringing that back into talking about Black History Month, which is also relevant when we do things where we talk about, like, today's the National Day of Suicide Prevention Month in September, or domestic violence awareness, or eating disorder awareness, or any kind of things we do. These kind of acknowledgements, the biggest thing you need to understand is they're a way of raising the visibility of something. And obviously, you're raising the visibility for cancer research or for the cause of LGBTQ individuals or Black folks. You're doing it because the absence of visibility, because of the silence or the omission or the exclusion of people from whatever is the status quo, the standard, the running narrative. So when we look at a thing like Black History Month specifically, the cynic or the jerk or the asshole can be like, well, why isn't there a White History Month, or why do we even need a month? Well, right. The whole existence of the month is kind of telling you the problems that America, for instance, has, which is it excludes Black folks from the narrative. And if it excludes Black folks, you can look across the spectrum. If there's an identity that doesn't fit the leaders of the narrative, they're going to be excluded probably. There's people of color, that's people by gender, that's people by orientation, that's people by a certain economic demographic, okay? So it it comes right back down that African Americans and Black folks, the Awareness Month its existence is in a way a protest or a declaration that our experiences are excluded from the traditional narrative. So that's one way to always approach the month. However, it's important to also think about it from the flip side. Someone says, well, why isn't there a White History Month? And a knee-jerk response is always, well, every day is White History Month. Well, here's the flip side of that. If you have Black History Month, does that mean that after February 28th, we don't have to talk about Blacks in history anymore? Right? So some people, folks who fit within the seeming target demographic to be celebrated in Black History Month, are just as angry at the existence of a Black History Month as people who may have bigoted motivations for it. Because if you say you have a history month, then you can create the process where people just minimize you or compartmentalize you and say, all right, come February 1st, let's roll out the flags and bunting for Black folks. And you see people catch on to this narrative in a lot of different ways. We see this all the time when it comes to Pride Month in June. You know, the running Rolodex of corporations that as soon as you hit, you know, within earshot of June 1st, boom, rainbow branding. And their appropriation of anything that they think visibly can be marketed to say they're pro endorsing and supporting the causes and needs and aspirations of the LGBTQ plus communities. And we can recognize how transparently, like, superficial that feels. The same thing for Black History Month too. So we
I
look
think
at all
one of the things that you said to us yesterday when we were preparing that sticks out to me the most is that at best it's a consolation.
Yeah, so that's the other problem too, is that if you only have it in a month, you don't have to be as vigilant to include it in the day-to-day. The real goal should be that you don't need a Black History Month because all these different intersections are adequately now represented in the straight line telling of your history and narratives. We know that that's not true, so you keep persisting with this month. But the problem with the month is you only have X amount of days, right? We only have so much bandwidth. So you get to a thing that's kind of, in some circles, it's called like hero worship. But in other ways, it's kind of just creating caricatures. So what you do is, instead of talking about the Black experience and the contributions of the culture and the people throughout every facet, you shrink it down to, here's some inventors, here's some elected people types, here's some celebrity types, here's a sort of like little sprinkling menagerie of like representation buffet. And that's as deep as you go. You talk about Madam C.C. Walker, and you start with, look, this was a successful Negro. They had billions just like lots of Caucasians do. Isn't that amazing? Completely ignoring that you're not having a discussion about, well, why is the transference of wealth within Black communities such a difficult and, you know, phenomena that you can talk about Madam C.C. Walker from the turn of the 1900s, and your only immediate correlation is think about Oprah. You know, so you ignoring like the 100-year gap of like, well, what was happening with development and business and things, and right. So it's not to disrespect Madam C.C. Walker or the individual who created the spark plug, or even Frederick Douglass or Martin Luther King. But if you just keep it into the month, another way of compartmentalizing people is to turn them into these sort of like theatrical figures.
Sure.
So we have a whole history of like, it's okay to do a quick history on any sort of Negro that's been assassinated. Okay. So if they've been killed, especially by white folks, yeah, let's tell their story maybe. Like, look at Martin Luther King and you have the Malcolm X stories. They're not really going to do like a lot of Fred Hampton movies. Okay. But they'll make a John Henry movie every once in a while. And they'll make a lot of Lincoln stuff. You know, and just go down that line. And then they'll do like the safe biopics of like the musicians and the athletes, but they won't talk about lawyers or people who made innovations in engineering. You know, you get Hidden Figures once every couple of decades.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
And that's just because that's not a complaint about the things that exist. What it's saying is like, if you accept to marginalize and compartmentalize anyone's narrative, then you also accept like a quota, a maximum, a minimum. You know what I'm saying? Instead of it being like, however many, maybe it's 10 today, 10 stories today, and 1 story 2 years from now, but at least you know people are having access so that success story isn't an anomalous like thing you have to keep telling people. And that's where like, it's funny because that's where like, sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to cut you up, but like, that's the thing where like bigoted people sort of, you know, they're like, well, why do we have to have like a Black History Month, or why do we have to make an announcement every time somebody comes out of the closet? Well, you know, if you had less repressive like policies and less exclusive social practices, these things would become normal. And yeah, then you get your wish that you don't, these, you know, coming out of the closet isn't a very life impacting and altering experience for someone. Just like, I don't want being Black in the 21st century to be as life impacting a qualifier to navigate the United States of America as it is. Like, I assure you, like, whatever privileges on the social side can come from that, you know, whatever we get a month, you know, it would be far more beneficial that if we lived in a society where I could reasonably believe that my interactions at certain levels and certain intersections in society would not be dramatically shaped by, regardless of my attitudes or someone else's attitudes, shaped by, you know, the melanin in my skin. That's, you know, so that's, awareness months have their purpose, and it would be a beautiful day when they don't need that purpose anymore. But it's important to embrace them because you can't let anyone say they're not needed anymore. You know, they'll not be needed when they're not needed, but so long as that we need representation and need to fight for people's visibility to get the dignity that we should already inherently be extending to people, regardless of the differences of their experiences. Yeah, acknowledgement months, weeks, days are always essential. So I'm just glad we made time for that discussion. So I cut you off there, Mike and Aaron.
No, I was just thinking how that even hits me in a way where I'm like still clicking too, you know, like there's still more things, more nuance that's clicking for me. And in that, like, it's okay to celebrate a list of successful figures in history that were Black, but that's like the fucking bare minimum. And it's also a result of us not having these stories or these experiences threaded through our whitewashed history, like Black, brown, indigenous, or otherwise, deaf, gay, trans, whatever. And we were all very much robbed of the richness of our American culture. Like, if you think about it that way, and now that like diversity is this buzzword and people want to be more sensitive and be more representative because it's good business mostly, but also some of those people have good intentions. It can get a little messy because especially if you don't feel comfortable asking questions about like, is this okay for me to celebrate this list of inventors that brought a bunch of things to our lives? Like, just for our listeners, that's kind of what Carl's talking about. Is like, we were prepping for this. I'm like, I don't know, this seems like something that wouldn't be problematic. This seems like, but even then I need to ask those questions to have it click a little bit more and be like, oh, okay. Yeah, I see where I still have more learning to do. So
yeah, well, I think putting it like Carl did with like saying it's a, you know, that we kind of characterize these people.
Caricature.
Yeah, like we make them into this, you know, these symbols rather than just them being the people that they were too, is like, such a big part of it. And
well, the Madam CJ Walker thing really hits too, where it's like look at this successful person in history rather than, hey man, there was tons of these success stories. It shouldn't be like this shocking.
Yeah. Well, the other thing it makes me think of is putting Harriet Tubman or any other Black person on, one of the bills.
On currency.
And, like other countries have been doing that for a really long time, for one, just side note. But like, I think like that's another place where people feel that way, is like, okay, sure, but what about to the school to prison pipeline? What about the other ways that we do this to to a Black populace? So it's like, it's like, it's not enough, if that's all that political people are going to do is just put their face on a dollar bill, Harriet Tubman.
What do you think about the currency thing? I've heard tons of people talk about Harriet Tubman on money. Do you have a particular opinion?
Well, yeah, I mean, it goes to the same sort of idea of a good example of being excluded from the status quo is that these become line item discussions. Like any Black inclusion, for instance, and this goes for any other sort of cultural or ethnic intersection, when the inclusion of a group becomes like a topic of the day, that's a pretty good signature, right? So Black inclusion on the faces of currency is a hot button topic. And I think it's twofold. It's persons of color on currency, and then quite frankly, I also think it's gender too. I think that it being an individual identified as a woman,
the only one, other than Sacagawea,
like in the American, like, of all the historic contributions that women have made, it's still controversial for what seems to be a pretty righteous, like, a freedom runner, someone who break out slaves, and a regular freaking Moses. All right, what do we get? So
it's like, I think what other countries have done, which I do think is better, is like just redoing all their money. Because what's like this one Black woman's face amongst all these other white presidents? Like what? Well, it would be like, whereas like just redoing,
not even just white like, presidents.
No, but no,
obviously
not.
I think Killer Mike.
Okay, but like. No, but like all, if you just like redid them all, for instance, that would probably be a little bit better than like just being like, oh, here.
But they're not going to do that.
There's some of the things about that though. Like,
yes,
it's if you can always phase things out, but the thing I want to talk about with like the inclusion of currency is like, on one side of it, it's the whole thing about keeping months. It's like, fuck yeah, right on. Get some motherfuckers on that money.
Yeah.
Now that's part one of it. You get to have that celebration. That sort of like, we made it up in this bitch. But then you also, that does not exclude that me being like, hell yeah, Harriet, get up on that money. Doesn't mean I don't have the right to also talk about the fact that like, she's in a bin full of slaveholders is a one thing. The historic, lack of agency or robbing of Black liquid wealth and marginalized folks' wealth, and universally, but just the transfer of Black wealth into not Black hands across everything from real estate to just direct loss of business. The Tulsa terrorist attacks in 1921, right? So like that, you get to have that conversation, and the problematic thing is people saying these things are one-dimensional.
Exactly.
Like, we had a Black president, slavery or racism has ended. Like, that's what compartmentalizing and caricaturizing us does. LGBTQ people only get one gay issue. So it's either bathrooms or marriage or who gets to wear a dress, but pick one and shut the fuck up about everything else.
Right.
And moreover, your entire worth and value as a people's is going to be determined every time one of these scenarios pops up where you're represented. Never for white people. It's never like there's never the single issue that's a referendum on all white people. But O.J. Simpson and Trayvon Martin, and you take a high visibility person who identifies as trans and does anything from go out in public, breathe, to compete in sports, and they become a referendum for the whole populations of people. That othering is all part of the same baggage of this idea of like, why do we have awareness months? And you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's not like this isn't like loose abstract things. This is all part
it's
of
all
systemic reinforcement.
Yep.
You know?
So I guess the lesson then is not just to think about awareness then, but to think about action, what you can actually do for yourself, for your community. You can learn by like, there's a really cool virtual tour of the Smithsonian African American Culture Museum that I'll drop the link to in the chat, so you can do some of your own learning, whether you're white or not. There's cool shit in history that we didn't learn. I learned about Tulsa through The Watchmen. I'll admit that. Probably a lot of people did because it was on HBO and it was streaming in your motherfucking face. But you didn't learn about it in history class. And I think we're coming to a fault line now where there's so much information available that you can find that information. You can check that stuff out on your own. And that's action that is worth something, but also look into things you can actually do in your community, whether that's checking out People Over Profit on Instagram and making some sandwiches for the unhoused. They do that meetup here in Humboldt Park like every month. Whether it's volunteering with any number of credible, important, mission-focused nonprofits.
Yeah. Well, and I also think it's just like important to like just continue to learn and talk about these things as all year round, just as simple as that is, like just to keep learning about it all the time as a white person, for sure.
And I think that's, so that's also another thing too, is like the longer conversation about race as a construction, okay, is that's not something anyone's going to unlearn tomorrow. But in terms of like the responsibility of correcting the shortcomings, it's better to not think of it necessarily in terms of like the burden of having been asleep for so long or been abiding, right? One thing that is a really hard conversation to have for, I think, folks our age and younger is how much of ownership of like past discretions carry over from one generation to another generation. Because when it comes to transgenerational trauma, you don't necessarily get a choice. It follows you and impacts you in every sort of facet that trauma does impact people. And when it comes to owning the transgressions of the generations who reinforced that and committed the acts that do it, it's almost like that's another thing to look at, is that marginalized people are always apologizing for what's oftentimes the sort of caricatures or slurs their culture inherits, right? But in the Western or Caucasian experience, this goes back to the isolation thing. Like, oh, that was a lone shooter. Oh, that was those rednecks. That was the Klan people. But I, white, northern, liberal, am not Klan.
Right, that I'm not apologizing for something I didn't do.
So, and I don't want the correction, though, isn't to flagellate yourself and be like, no, we are white and thus inherently shameful. I think the thing to be most effective as an ally for anyone, Black folks supporting people who aren't Black, who are also being oppressed. That's not easy. That's a hard conversation to have inside of groups, right? Being able to reach out across some of these cultural fracture points, like what has otherized you to the white narrative, doesn't mean that you're inherently simpatico with other people of color, other marginalized folks. And that's also reinforcing prejudices that might have been created or conditioned by the sort of colonial mindset. So why I'm getting to that is like, one of the worst things I think, what we don't want people to do is, how can I be a better white person? Versus recognizing what is it that is from history that has permitted such large groups of people to be willing to abide the transgressions. The people who are doing shitty things, we don't have to have a debate about that. They're shitty people doing shitty things. But one of the most powerful things so-called Caucasians and allies can do, and I mean allies, whether you're coming into the, me coming from my hetero cis experience, how am I to be towards someone? How can I be supportive to someone? It's more than just knowing the history of Stonewall. It's recognizing how has my inaction supported or suborned harm or duress to others. Even if it's in the 6 degrees of, something as benign as the uncle at Thanksgiving who has racist statements, and your non-confrontationalism permits that poison to stand up, leave that room, continue to be poisonous out in the world again. And so did you not take a chance to confront and stomp out a fire? Because that's the risk of stepping up and speaking to truth. And that's the risk that people who go protesting face, and that's the risk that people who are marginalized are facing.
Yeah. Every day. Yeah. All
privilege of the safety is. And if that sounds like a bunch of gobbledygook, you can take it as the difference between what does it take to feel safe walking down an urban street at 1 a.m. What does it take to do that? And what are those privileges versus the privileges to get alone? You know what I mean? Because in terms of talking about how you can be an ally to someone, being aware of like how you're impacting or not impacting a community is far more valuable than just memorizing a quick list of like influential Black people or something.
Sure. Yeah. What's practical in helping like have a better community, and like understanding that you shouldn't ignore that those points, because that you're ignoring that we are complicit as white people, and that's okay. It's not us that built the systemic problems, but it is something that we can be a part of dismantling if we learn, if we talk about the uncomfortable shit.
Yeah, like making yourself uncomfortable for a few minutes versus like what a marginalized person feels all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Bring them in the middle of the page. We don't need anybody out in the margins, unless you want to be on the margins, I guess. That's a bit literal. But man, it's so awesome to have these conversations with you. I always learn so much.
I love all the stuff you're saying, my Lord of the Morning.
Yeah, thanks for chiming in on the chat.
Putting it really well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty righteous. I'm reading the comments too. So
yeah.
Your Animaniacs shirt is great. Animaniacs.
Yeah. Thanks, Carl. Thanks for laying it down.
Hey, Carl. So
Oscars.
Oscar picks.
Okay. Well, so I mean, huge cinephile. Love me some movies. So I mean, I guess we can just go down the big 5 list. Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah.
What category first? Movies, best picture.
Well, so the best picture nominees, you called it for Power of the Dog. That's your call.
I think so.
Okay.
So we got Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza.
Let's see.
Nightmare Alley, and Power of
I'm
the Dog.
gonna. What I'll do is I'm gonna name what I think the industry front runner is.
Yeah.
And then my pick. So
Yeah.
I think Power of the Dog might be. It's hard to. Is the front runner? I think it's the industry front runner.
Yeah.
I think there's a dark horse argument for Belfast, but I don't know. I think it's Power of the Dog. Just seems to got it going. My pick for best film, film I like the most, hands down, was Dune.
I was gonna guess that.
Dune, but actually, best movie, like constructed from production to script to execution to everything. For me, actually, the surprise, because I just saw it, like, it was one of the last movies I didn't give it a chance when it first came out, was Being the Ricardos.
Being the Ricardos is like Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, and
Lucille Ball.
And it's
who's
Javier Bardem.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And they're nominated, I think.
They're nominated?
Javier.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for my personal favorite was Ricardo's. On the nominated list, Dune, Power of the Dog, Dark Horse, Belfast, Crazy World with No Justice. They're not going to give it to West Side Story, but they could give it to Licorice Pizza just to create anarchy.
West Side Story is on there, yeah.
But no, it's going to be probably Dog or Belfast.
Yeah.
Do you know like the synopsis or the summary of these films on this Best Picture list?
Yeah.
Can we try a fun little game?
Sure. Yeah.
Can you try and summarize each in like what should we say, 5 words or 10 words?
A sentence? Yeah.
No, it'd be fun to count the words.
Oh. Okay.
Are you game?
Yeah.
How many words do you think you need? What do you think is fair? 10 words?
10 words is fine.
I got 10 fingies.
Yeah. All right. 10 is fine.
All right, Belfast. What's the 10-word description of Belfast? Best Picture nominee.
The Troubles Were a Shit Show.
The Troubles Were a Shit Show. That's Belfast for your Best Picture nominee with 3 words to spare. How about Coda?
It's hard.
The invisibility of access and disability experiences.
Wow, man, you're doing these in 7. You're doing these in 7 words. All right. That's Coda, your Best Picture nominee. How about Don't Look Up?
Don't Look Up. Don't Look Up is art imitating life.
In 3, you can nail it with 3. Do you want to try Don't Look Up? You saw it. You saw it.
Nope.
Don't Look Up.
Nope. You try it.
I'll try it. Don't Look Up. Leonardo. J Law. Is that one word? J Law.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Meryl Streep does Trump impression.
Okay.
Okay, it's kind of.
All right, that was 7.
It had a flow that felt.
Drive my car.
Scramsky. Don't Look Up.
Drive My Car.
That's an interesting one.
Sweet little story.
All right.
Nice red turbo car.
Okay. This is good. I think we're all learning a lot about ourselves and these movies. Dune? What about Dune?
Whatever the sound dunker chanting.
Okay, so that no words for that
You
one.
know, the one that's like,
Yeah.
How about King Richard?
oh no, that's not appropriate. I'm trying to think of like, it's like Rocky, but black people.
A Rocky movie kind of vibe?
Yeah. Mine is
It's like Rocky meets Caddyshack.
yeah.
Rocky meets Caddyshack 3. All right.
Mine is Will Smith does what he does best.
Will Smith does what he does best. Nice, 7. Mine is
It's just so Will Smith.
getting jiggy with
That's
the Serenas or the Williamses.
okay.
Right?
Getting jiggy with those.
All right, enough of that game. I guess that game, we've had enough of that game.
It's a game. It's a game.
Yeah.
For sure.
That network was like,
All right.
we're gonna enough of that.
That's so silly.
That could be a fun game. That'd be more of a Hope Lounge parlor game, I think.
Yeah.
Just to describe movies in a limited number of words. And then we do a GoFundMe for our deck, our card game deck.
It would be fun to do like a whole Oscars voting thing or something too.
Well, yeah, we got time to plan something apparently because Oscars are not until
they're not for a minute.
For a couple weeks now. If you were to ask me, my Oscar pick for the year, I would probably go with something that doesn't qualify. I would probably say some TV show that's old.
Oh.
Because those are the things I watch most of the time. Letterkenny, great Canadian comedy show that helps me to just be lazy on Saturday mornings when I need to really focus on that self-care and just glue myself to the couch. Otherwise, I'm a busybody. I did get to have a nice car meetup with Ben and Carl from the network on Saturday this weekend. That was pretty great.
Car meetup.
I'm
my Lord of the
psyched.
Morning knows what's up. Letterkenny.
Wait, maybe you.
I was getting some coffee with my friends the other day.
Maybe your vote for Best Picture, which is in documentary, is Summer of Soul.
Oh yeah, that's my pick. Questlove. Questlove did such a great job. It's the first time he's made a film, to my knowledge. But he approached it like a motherfucking journalist. It was awesome. Have you seen that, Carl?
Yeah.
It unpacks a lot of the current events of the time along this kind of progression of that Harlem Arts and Music Fest. Pretty damn cool. Sly and the Family Stone tearing it up.
So cool.
Sly and the Family Stone is one of those really special bands. Super much, probably one of the top of the heap for me as far as influences for locomotive and that music, because we got horns, we got male and female timbre vocals represented. We got, a lot of that funk that we're drawn on, that psychedelic funk that Sly really pioneered. You've seen that film, the lady in Sly and the Family Stone that's just ripping trumpet and stuff like that. That's probably one of my favorite parts of that flick is just Sly looking over and they're just jamming and looking cool. And I hope Questlove wins, because Questlove, in many ways, drummer of the Roots, reminds me of AC in a lot of ways, because when I first saw Questlove, I wasn't a huge I didn't know a lot about the Roots yet. Came and DJ'd at a club in the college town that I lived in, Bloomington, Indiana, at this place called Jake's Tap or some shit. Just a really tiny little club. Had the craziest vinyl collection, just racks and racks of crates of records, and just spun all sorts of great music all night and just great vibes. But Amir is just so knowledgeable about music, and also wrote a book, Music is History, that a friend of ours, Britt, got me for Christmas. and he's just focusing on like 1970s onward because the 60s has been covered a lot.
Yeah. I just wanted.
so amazing.
So he's 51. I just looked it up because I was just thinking like how old he would, you know, how much older than you he is.
Between like the way that like I've gotten to know AC, like because I didn't know AC when I first experienced Questlove, and then when AC came into my life, I didn't know AC super well at first. We went on tour together and got to know each other, but I later learned just what a vinyl head he is and what an encyclopedia of music history he is. And so like when I'm reading this Questlove book, I'm actually like when I'm reading it, it's almost like I hear AC's head voice. It's super
silly.
weird because he's always telling me like, oh yeah, the TLC got fucked over on their record deal and like et cetera, and like stuff about Left Eye. Like he's just fascinating as far as his grasp of how information in musical history connects through the years.
He's sneaky about it.
Yeah, he's real sneaky and real humble about it. But when we first started working for you years ago, Carl, when we were first doing Beat Keepers at Lawrence Hall here in Chicago, the way that he would just mesmerize these kids, showing them, here, you hear this song that you guys all love on your iPod nowadays? Oh, it connects to this. This is the actual song they were sampling, and this connects to that, and just do this cool timeline. Was really fun. And it was cool to have that opportunity then, and it's even cooler to have that opportunity now. So just want to say thank you, Carl,
yeah,
for giving us that opportunity, giving the network life. And yeah, do you have anything to say to Carl?
No, he's the best.
We love you, man.
Yeah, thank you for
take care.
Yeah, thank you for
thanks
teaching.
for coming on the Tomorrow Show, Carl. Anything you want to say?
No, it's a pleasure, and I look forward to being on again. Take care.
Cool.
Have a great show.
Sounds good. We will have you again for sure. Stick around and watch our unboxing of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild as we wrap up today's show, and then as we come back from Gamers Paradise, we'll send you off with a reprise of the Theron Beats song. There's no like lyric video this week or anything like that, but we'll just get our dance on here after Gamers Paradise. Are you excited for the Zelda action?
Yeah.
I am excited because this is literally what you would experience if you got the game, you took it home.
So we play this game for like just hours at a time, and
it's a perfect game.
It's so fun. I think the biggest thing is that like as an open world, you don't get like you get distracted, but like it's easy to like find your way back to the map and like where you're supposed to go next. And yeah, it's just like so well constructed. So I know tons of people love it, and I'm glad we're finally playing it.
Me too.
Yeah.
So this is our second installment of Gamers Paradise. We featured Animal Crossing's Hope Island last time that Erin would love you to visit. She puts out free recipes, right?
Yeah, good ones.
Do you have an island code that you could pop in the chat?
It would be a little to find it. I will.
Okay.
I'll put it. I should put it like in the Discord and stuff.
We'll put it in the Discord. So if you ever want to go visit her island, you can. This week we're taking to. It's not Narnia. What's the land called? Hyrule. I don't know why I thought Narnia. It's very Narnian, I guess.
Yeah.
And we're going to take you to Hyrule to experience this new chapter in the Zelda lore. I hope you enjoy it. Gamers Paradise. Oh my goodness, what is happening? Oh my goodness, what's happening, babe? Open your eyes. Oh my goodness. Holy shit, what is it? The suspense is killing me. Is it Poltergeist? Open your eyes. Holy shit. Talk about an unboxing. They're unboxing a Link, babe. It's like Demolition Man. He's cryogenically frozen. Oh, man.
Where are we?
I don't know. This is intense. Intense. Are you in control yet, or is this still like the little story leading into gameplay? What is the name of this game? I see the box over there. Breath of the Wild.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so
You're in gameplay now. But it's all like, there's the box over there. It's all
So,
spooky out there. Yes.
with this, I can move my camera around.
Okay. Hey,
Look around.
your new game.
Okay, and then with this one, with L joystick, I move.
Okay. It's a double joystick kind of
And
thing.
these are the other things. Okay,
Okay.
so if I push that, okay. X.
And these are like if it was on the little Switch controller. Ours is up in the thing in the dock right now, hence the large screen. It's the spooky cave you're in or something. Are you in the clouds? Oh, that's a little stealth move you got there. Okay. Go touch that thing. I think you're supposed to go touch it. Examine that shit. Oh boy. Oh shit.
Is a Sheikah slate.
Huh.
Take it. It will help guide you after your long slumber.
Oh hell yeah, you got some shit. Take it, babe. Did you take it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you are taking it. It looks like Nintendo Switch, doesn't it?
It does.
That's pretty
A
meta.
mysterious tablet with a glowing center. You've never seen this device before, but yet there's something familiar about it. So if I can see my...
Holy shit, babe. Is it like a map, basically?
I'm guessing so.
It'll help you, like,
Oh shit, something's opening.
it'll help map your
Okay,
territory.
I'm gonna look at it real quick.
Okay.
Inventory. So I push out, babe, up here. You should know this.
Okay.
L.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So there's my inventory.
Oh, you're going to fill that shit up.
Oh, wait, can I also have my adventure log?
That's nuts. All right, let's see this box will look. Okay. All right. What's up, Zelda? Breath of the Wild. Nice.
One of the best games, supposedly.
E for everyone. Let's see here. Answer the call. The shadow of calamity, Ganon rises over the ashes of Hyrule. Okay. Craft your survival. Defend the legend. All right. Ooh, that's cool on the inside. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Comfies. Playing our games. Treehouse. Gamer's Paradise.
Okay, I'm gonna go out.
Whoa, whoa. Said no. You can pick shit up?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, hoisting it. You're gonna drop it or
Should
throw
I
it?
throw it?
Yeah, throw that shit. Oh, you could throw shit far. Did it break?
Well,
It
maybe
must-
that was in it. Oh.
Oh, there it is. I guess, yeah, I don't know. Oh, open that shit. Oh, ouch. Well,
Oh.
whoa, you're gonna get some clothes on you.
That's good, because I'm cold.
You must be cold. Let's see what he looks like in his new pants. Or are you just gonna open all the chests? I would too. Ooh, a shirt too. All right. You got a whole outfit. What is it? Outfit of the day? OOTD? Hashtag
Yes.
OOT. Ooted. Oh shit, girl. Put some clothes on, damn it.
Was
Right?
there anything? Wait,
I don't think so. Those barrels are bunk.
there probably is stuff in here.
Those barrels are bunk, babe. See? Told
Maybe
you.
you throw them at enemies? They're enemies?
Probably. Are you gonna put on the clothes or no?
Okay, I'm just checking.
Yeah, quip. Yeah. Oh shit. Look at that outfit.
Look at that outfit.
Hell yes. Cool.
All right,
Now you're definitely more outfitted for the task at hand.
Did I like open everything there was to open?
Appears so.
Whoa, what?
I don't know.
Oh, I could like maybe push that?
Oh shit, you are moving it. Are you underwater?
No.
I guess not. It's just like kind of like hazy or something. Interesting.
Oh,
Ooh, climbing that shit. She climbing. She climbing.
okay.
Oh. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do.
Now go.
You open this cave. Now you can go out. Oh man. Oh mama. Oh, splashies. X's climb looks like. Cool.
Cute.
That was cute. Oh man, we're about to see what it's like outside. Wow, babe. Yeah. Wow. Damn, Breath of the Wild for sure. We have Volcano in the back.
Listen to that music.
It's awesome. It's kind of like Twin Peaks music, isn't it?
It's like Mountain Dew.
Well, damn, what's that structure? Totally.
What's that?
Have to go track that dude down.
Should I go that way?
This is the Great Plateau. Nice. It's so weird that Link has like a little like iPhone that he has to like check in. And it's got crazy evil eye on it. Or maybe it's like maybe it's a nice eye.
Should I go with that where that mountain is?
Yeah. Right?
Okay.
Oh yeah, you got a tree band, girl.
Surprisingly well balanced down. Okay, so you can use it if
As-
you need to.
Yeah, you can use it as a weapon now. Yeah.
What's that?
Oh,
Some
birds.
mushrooms?
Yeah. Wow.
Hylian shroom.
Eat it, restore half a heart.
Sweet.
Nice.
I should probably get these other ones, right?
I guess so. Climb up that shit. You're cute when you climb. Yeah. Yeah, get them. Eat them up. Yep. Hell yeah.
I took it. He's mad at me.
Oh man, you took my baked apple. What you doing? Oh, he's just teasing you. Ask him. Ask him about himself.
His name is probably Strider.
Yeah, you think so?
Strider from.
Does he look like a Strider to you?
He looks a lot older.
Where are we? Yeah, definitely. Oh man. Ooh, the entire kingdom of Hyrule. Do you know any of the lore of Zelda? I do not.
I don't.
I just played the fucking NES game and loved it. I was obsessed. The labyrinths, the bosses.
Well, I imagine you're
The
gonna have to
magic.
help me.
This
That
is like
temple
another
there, long ago, it was the site of many sacred ceremonies. Ever since the decline of the kingdom,
Ooh, that's a good-
100 years ago,
That's a good voice.
it was
That's a good
abandoned in a
voice.
state of decay.
I like that. That's a good. That has some flavor.
A mere ghost of its
A ghost of its former self.
Hmm,
Can you
okay.
throw apples at him or give him an apple for an apple? You're just gonna be on your way. I see.
I'm gonna go back and talk to him. I just wanna...
Well, that's good. That's cool. Pretty neat.
Wah, 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 wah.
Mysterious.
It's so mysterious.
We know so much more now. We know so much more.
Obviously have gotten off the Great Plateau, and
Oh man.
we're headed to fix our Sheikah slate right now.
There's village. There's a village. There's a horse. You get a horse. There's monsters. There's weapons. There's cooking food that you forage and
You
buy.
like doing that.
Oh, I love cooking potions up too with monster parts. It's
I like
fun.
catching those fairies that we did last night. That was fun.
Yeah, that was cool. Catching some fairies, catching some fireflies, crickets, frogs, scamps.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's cool. There's temples. It's all sorts of cool. But we are just gonna keep showing you little bits. We just wanted to keep it like chapter 1. Here's a taste of Zelda. If you have a Switch or other platform that game's offered on, it's cool. Get it. And if you are someone who works for Nintendo Switch, hey, hit us up. We'll take some free shit.
Oh my gosh.
Because, nothing beats the feeling of plugging into a Nintendo Switch in the morning.
All right.
Or in the afternoon
right.
or the evening.
That's enough.
And playing it. Hey, would you like to see some old school Zelda gameplay? I would like to see that.
Yeah.
And I will do that.
Yeah.
There's the NES emulators and the Sega emulators and the Super Nintendo emulators. So maybe we'll do a Zelda through the years kind of thing.
That would be fun.
Do you know the song from the original Zelda? It rules.
No, but you do. This guy looked it up on YouTube last night just so he could hear it.
I wanted to hear it very
I
badly.
wanted to hear that whole
It's pretty
song.
good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
We want to thank, as always, our show runner, our producer. This week, Scott Kansky, just kicking ass as the network and making us look cool with these
If
overlays.
you want to join the Discord and get into Oscar talk or get into Zelda talk or whatever with us,
Yeah.
we
Keep
love
talking.
that. Yeah.
Keep talking. The Discord's happening all the time. So if you want to be a part of that digital community, tune into any of the Twitch shows. Marlo Reyes has 2 shows, Kagwamasi Dramas, and now the Intensamente spinoff. We got Kate Smith. We got Carl Evans with his own programming. I can't wait to see a Ben Mattson show. I don't know about you.
I would love that too.
I would watch that shit. I would like to see a Dan Lampton show too.
Hell yeah.
I would love to see him do all the cool stuff that he's capable of doing on this Twitch stream. I want to shout out to Jory Abner, a friend of mine that plays music. Been seeing your streams too. Very cool stuff that you're doing. I think you were streaming right now. So we'll probably have to have you on in the coming episodes. And I think in 2 weeks, we're going to probably have a band called Jackson Adams as our musical guest through a friend of the network, Aaron Wagner.
Thanks for everybody who participated in the chat today. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, for real. New friends.
Yeah.
Have a good Super Bowl Sunday. Be safe. If you're spending Valentine's Day solo, love yourself.
Hell yeah.
And, keep rooting for your favorite Olympic sports, Shaun White.
Oh my God.
classy guy.
He had his
Congratulations on your
last,
retirement.
he had his last go and he was sobbing. And
Classy guy.
I sobbed because he was
Classy guy.
crying.
And thanks for being somebody like a Tony Hawk or a Michael Jordan for that sport of snowboarding. You really changed the game. So other than that, I want to thank AC one last time for making an incredibly powerful song out of this week's Theory and Beats. So Scott, as we end the broadcast today, can you just pull up the song that I dropped in that folder for you, and we can listen to it and dance with our dog?
Yeah. Thank you, Carl. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks to our guest, Carl Evans. And join us on the Discord. Join us on socials. Share it. Tell your friends. We'll be back here in 2 weeks. Time for some dancing to the Kalimba song, which I think we have titled Consider Us Crazy. Yeah, I hope you had a great time. And oh man, the harmonica, now the kalimba. This dude's extra credit. Look at that. Look at that cover he made.
You're not alone. As I sit at home, I'm just chilling now, trying to figure out exactly what it's all about. Life has got me stressed, it puts me to the test. I just hope that I can go to bed and get some rest. Maybe get them full 7 hours that I need. Instead, this anxiety's keeping me from my sleep. It blocks my dreams and all my good vibes. No matter what, I know that I will survive. You're not alone, there's lots of us. Still some consider us crazy. You're not alone, there's a lot of us. Still some consider us crazy. You're not alone, there's lots of us. Still some consider us crazy. You're not alone, there's lots of us. Still some consider us crazy. When I've got the music, I've got a place to go. My escape to my own place, to it go. My happy place, feeling nice and close my eyes. Screaming up at the sky to express how I love my life. To you, I don't need to explain myself. You don't like me, that's on you. Maybe you should get some help. I'll keep my head up to the sunlight. You can say what you want, 'cause I'm gonna shine bright. You're not alone, there's lots of us. Still some consider us crazy. You're not alone, there's a lot of us. Still some consider us crazy. You're not alone, there's lots of us. Still some consider us crazy. You're not alone, there's lots of us. Still some consider us crazy. One thing I'd like to say before you even start. You don't know my mental state. You just see my heart on my arm. And I rock it like a badge of honor. Yeah, I keeps it real. I ain't in no bad mood. You don't even know the deal. You don't even know the half. Why sometimes I don't laugh. Set a bass. You just make complaints to HR on my ass. Give you the gas face, I don't wanna hear it. I won't let these clowns out here go and wreck my spirit. 'Cause you're not alone. You're not alone. There's lots of us. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. There's lots of us. There's lots of us. Still some consider us crazy. You're not alone. You're not alone. There's a lot of us. There's lots of us. Still some consider us crazy. You're not alone. You're not alone. There's lots of us. There's lots of us. Still some consider us crazy. You're not alone. You're not alone. There's lots of us. There's lots of us. Still some consider us crazy. You're not alone. There's lots of us. Still some consider us crazy.